There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
Oh, welcome into episode number 90 of the Program Guys podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you as always by Ryan Tyson, Mark Hall, Matt Gann, Patrick Kurtzberger. Today is Thursday, September 28th. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. Trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by Texas week. We're almost to 1,800, folks. Help us out. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Costs you $0 on YouTube, and you help us out more than you know. If you like the content, just subscribe and share it with some other people. That'd be sick. You can follow us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z. That's TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, X, all of that stuff. That's where you can find us. Also, you can find us at programguys.com. You can also, that is so loud. I think that was my email. You can also go to programguys.com for all of our written content. Find us there as well. Gentlemen, how are we doing? The Oklahoma Sooners are 4-0.
4-0, baby.
To 5-0. Welcome in the Iowa State Cyclones this week. And boys, let me tell you, this is what we call a tease in the biz. I got some takes. I got some takes that I'm ready to drop on the boys.
Love it, baby.
Let me tell you.
Love to start off a pod like that, Mason.
I know, exactly. But how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing today?
Well, look, we got to start with Matt Gann. Matt, you've been gone for like
welcome back
15 pods because we do so many pods now.
Yeah.
We've missed your takes. We've missed your insight, your thoughts. So first question, most important question.
Yep.
How are your Horned Frogs doing, buddy?
Had a good win last week.
Wow.
Really good. But I did take a little bit of a hiatus. I'm glad to be back. There's no better time like getting together for some of these preview pods. And some great football has been happening, both by the Sooners and by the Horned Frogs. Can't wait to get into it today. Glad to be back.
I like how Matt acts like he's a guest.
I know.
It's like I took a little pause.
Then the opportunities to hop on with you guys.
I'm grateful. I mean, look at you guys.
He's like I'm
here.
Staple.
You know what's fun about this week is that there are 3 teams undefeated in the Big 12: Texas, Kansas, and the University of Oklahoma. Texas and Kansas play each other this weekend, meaning that there is a high chance Texas and Oklahoma are both undefeated going into OU Texas next week.
Be a lot of fun, but watch out. Remember the last time that Kansas was in Austin.
What happened?
Things happened.
Was in Austin.
And that was a worse Kansas team. So
that's interesting. Be sure to catch the program roundup on Sunday or Monday for that recap of that game. Ryan, how you doing? Have you survived? Are you surviving or are you thriving?
I am thriving this week. So I'm feeling good, man. Feeling great. Had a great weekend. So hanging out with my guys, and things were wonderful. Glad to be here talking to you guys though.
Amazing, baby. Well, Mark, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, one thing real fast, kind of hitting on Patrick's point. If we beat Iowa State, like I think we're capable of beating Iowa State, they're gonna jump us like 5 spots to call next week a top 10 matchup. And I know that I'm looking past a capable opponent in this, but our guys will not. I'm just looking ahead to, you just know what they're gonna do. It's just the way it works. Good to be here with the guys. Very glad to have the opportunity.
Heck yeah. Well, let's jump right into the game, guys. Let's just jump into our preview. A little bit of news that we should get to first. Jaren Kanak, he practiced this week. That's great news. After reportedly coughing up blood and leaving the Cincinnati game. Or did he leave the game, or did he just go to the game?
He got taken to the hospital.
Okay, that's right.
Definitely left.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, he's a baller, dude. He's a baller. He's a gamer, and I'd love to see him out there safely. Let me make that very clear. I think the days of being gladiators are over in football. I think everybody plays through a little something every now and then, but like, brother, if you're coughing up blood, let's make sure we're 100% good to go and not make that worse.
Yeah, it was a hit to the chest, which I think some people thought it was a hit to the head at first. Hit to the chest isn't good either, though. So I'm glad they took like precautions on that and like got him checked out and everything. But then like Danny Stutzman like tweets a picture of him like laying on the ground or whatever, and everyone's like, okay, he's fine, because Danny is literally making jokes about this like 2 days later. So
I think Danny
He
also
tweeted-
being a little unhinged is
he's
like
a little unhinged, but
yeah.
He tweeted something like, "I would die for this shit," like I'm Jaren Kanak, and posted that picture. And I'm like,
It's
that
so
is
bad.
his best friend. You would
I
think.
know.
He's like, bro, you almost died. Like that's
Like you literally
crazy.
went to the hospital for this,
That's
and you were
just-
coughing up blood.
Insane.
The thing I hate is they don't have to tell us anything more than they want to tell us, really, about what went down there. And he certainly was coughing up blood.
Yeah.
Anytime you see that, I am surprised you only take 6 days away from the game. Just
That's-
very.
Yeah. Matt Gann, anything to add on Jaren?
I would say if he's not 100%, I'd like to see the young guys, either Lewis Carter or Kip Lewis, get into the game. They have played somewhat and have looked good in selected spots. So if JK7 is not 100% up to speed, I'd rather him get healthy for the game next week or the week after. So maybe some of these young guys, either like the 2 guys I mentioned, freshmen, come in, maybe get a little bit more playing time next to Danny, who's obviously having an All-American year so far, the way he's just ball hawking and being around the line of scrimmage. So hopefully these younger guys could step up, but JK7 cannot play or not 100% there.
I feel that. Let us know down below in the comments what you think of Jaren Kanak. Should he play this weekend, or maybe, take a week off? The point spread, boys, minus OU favored by 19.5. I started off by saying just minus 19.5, and I changed it up. So Oklahoma favored by 19.5 points is the latest that we have as of Wednesday evening when we're recording this. Over under set at 48.5. Is that what I saw?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I got some takes, but I'm going to save them. I'm just going to build a crescendo to that point. Let's go ahead and we'll start with the Oklahoma offense against the Iowa State defense. Sound good to you guys? We'll start with that matchup and how that looks. By the way, Oklahoma, number 1 ranked offense in the Big 12 in terms of scoring. They average 46.8 points a game, 7 more points than the second highest, Kansas State. Oklahoma, the second ranked offense in terms of total offense, averaging 506 yards a game. 565 is the leader with UCF. So Oklahoma looking good offensively. We had some people in the comments in the post-game pod, and I wanted to address this, telling us how we were being negative. If y'all are satisfied with 20 points and thought that the offense looked fantastic, I don't know what we're doing here.
It's a problem with you guys, not us.
Yeah,
It would be one thing. It would be one thing if we're playing to a stalemate. We're leaving plays on the field.
Yes,
That's the problem. We're leaving it all on the field. That's what we're upset about in that post game. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't feel like we came on there and ripped anybody a new one either. We said it wasn't Dylan's best game. If you watch that game, you know it wasn't. You know it wasn't Dylan's best game, but he still played okay.
Still played good.
But he played okay. He played good. Like he didn't.
Yeah.
Again, it's not like a wow thing, but he played good.
And then I said that he was going to come out against Iowa State and play his balls off, which I think he's going to do, because I don't think this Iowa State team is very good at all. Matt Campbell's a fraud.
I just want to all right, if you're one of the commenting naysayers, give me the specifics. Do you think the running back situation is something to be happy about? You think you're stoked about what's going on there? Yeah, me neither. How about the offensive line? They held up pretty well against those 2 dudes. They made some plays. I don't give anything, I correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've been that negative about the offensive line. Receivers are fine, but don't we all agree Nick Anderson should get the ball more?
Yes.
Do people think that we're just is that too negative? I don't think we've said anything that isn't true about the tight end position. And if you want to come at us for the Dylan things, a lot of that's cut up in playmaking. A lot of that's cut up in play calling. It's a lot of Jeff Levy stuff too. But can y'all tell me where we've been unfair?
Yeah, Matt, Ryan, Pat. Phil, I mean, Pat was there. Pat was part of it.
I was
Matt,
part of
you've
the
been
drama,
listening.
baby.
Matt, you've been listening to every episode intently once or twice. Where do you think maybe we could have gone astray?
Yeah, I think you guys hit the main points. I mean, even DG in the Big 12 opener went 26 of 38 for 322 and a touchdown. That's not a bad stat line on the road in Cincinnati. Not at all. Now, best game ever? Absolutely not. There's definitely more meat on the bone. I think we've talked about that as well. But so far this season, he's completing 78% of his passes with a rate of 10.4 yards per attempt. He's getting it down the field. He's trying to push it down, especially when the run game has not really helped. I think they're only averaging a little over 4 yards a carry in the run game and not really had a running back really succeed to that first top spot out of the four guys. We thought maybe Javonte Barnes would have been that guy, but he hasn't been so far. So no running back has really taken that role on yet. The offensive line is definitely held up in the pass game, giving DG plenty of time, but the running game has to get going. And it just hasn't so far. So Bird will be coming back in the lineup. He was injured last week, so hopefully that will help. Well, the run game's got to get going, especially against better opponents like Texas and other games down the road. That's what I would like to see, especially in this game, is a running game. Someone please get over 100-plus yards rushing.
In case you're wondering, Iowa State ranks number 1 in the Big 12 in total defense. They're number 1 in passing defense, allowing 177 yards per game. And then in terms of their rushing defense, Iowa State allows 115 yards a game on the ground. So here's where I want to start with this. Iowa State is not that good. This is not the same Iowa State team that we have seen in the past, that we saw in the Big 12 title game a few years ago, and who we saw last year giving people hell. This team is not very good. And this defense, who has played Iowa, Oklahoma State with 3 different quarterbacks, none of which are any good, lost to Ohio, the Bobcats, the green team, not Ohio State, Ohio. And then they beat who did they beat? Dang, I had the schedule in front of me.
Northern Iowa, 30
Thank
to
you.
9.
Northern Iowa. No, like, I am not scared of this team. And that 19.5, I'll give you my score prediction later. That ain't even close to enough. We're going to blow the doors off this team. And if we don't, guess what? Come back to the post-game pod, because we got some problems. We got some issues. If this Oklahoma offense can't score 6 or more touchdowns against this Iowa State team, we got issues. Point blank and simple. That's how I feel.
So are we doing offense first, or are we doing defense?
Oklahoma offense.
Offense.
Oklahoma offense
okay.
against Iowa
All
State's
right.
defense.
Sorry, go ahead. Whoever was talking, I cut you off.
Yeah, 20 points can't be the standard. I think we come out hot on the offense this week just to prove that we are good. And I just really hope we find that rhythm, man. It wasn't good enough last week. And part of that was just not finding that rhythm. We saw that last year a lot, starting off really hot and then maybe stopping and slowing down. Hopefully we keep our foot on the pedal the entire game and score some points. Now, we have to find that guy, that running back who will hit over 100 yards, who will stand out. Brent Venables said it this week in his press conference. They're looking for that guy. They're wanting that guy to step up. We just don't know who it is yet.
He hit the challenge button on those guys.
Totally,
all of them. He said, we want it to be one guy. We and I think DeMarco said that in the offseason. They want one guy to take that job, and it just hasn't happened yet. We know that some guys are banged up. We know that the guys that aren't banged up don't bring necessarily the explosiveness that you have to bring to hit some of these holes that are there. And some of the holes are there. It's just that, unfortunately, Marcus Major, with all of the injuries, doesn't have that kind of north-south speed and isn't going to bust through like we saw Gavin Sawchuk do when he's right. The unfortunate thing is, I think We're not going to see it unless it's one of the young bloods, unless it's Gavin, unless it's Javante Barnes. And if those guys are just more banged up than it seems, if they never get to the ceiling, the heights that we want them to get to, yeah, we're going to take care of Iowa State, I believe, but we're not going to hit those highs that the most optimistic of Sooner fans right now are looking at. So what I want to talk about for the offense is, no, I'm kidding. Ryan, go ahead. What do you have?
No, please go if you have more. If you
My
want
only
to talk
point
about
to
more.
that, my last point is we're running Dylan
Patrick
Gabriel
jumps
a lot, and he's not Jalen
In weird
Hurts.
ways. In weird,
He's not
yes,
Jalen
we're running
Hurts.
him like he's Jalen. What is a quarterback ISO with your
But,
5'10", 190-pound quarterback?
I actually think I disagree with this with you guys, because I think this is a thing that we can do nowadays. Dylan is running different this year than he was running last year. And I think it's because he has a backup like Jackson Arnold. And you know, he's in it for the team, right? He's like, I'm going to put myself on the line to be able to do this. And so he's running with a little bit more aggression, a little bit more, you know, flair to it. And I think that's honestly, it worked well last week. I thought it worked well last week. And I don't really mind it as much as, like, you know, we've talked about the Jackson Arnold 4th and 1. Like, I despise that, but like, I don't mind him running it as much.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I like it too, but I think we're doing it because we don't have a running back that's shining.
Matt Gann, get in there.
I was going to say, Mason, to your point, obviously Iowa State hasn't played a high power offense. I mean, currently they're 19th in the nation in yards per play defensively, only allowing 4.4, and have the 24th ranked pass defense. But Iowa State's unique where they play the 3 defensive linemen down and really have 8 guys in coverage. So they're really trying to prevent long balls or explosive plays. So this is going to have to be a very patient offense, but you have to be able to run the ball to bring some of those safeties down. If you're not going to be able to run, it's going to be very, very difficult to throw on this Iowa State defense. It's still the same defense of old of how they play and their play style. So really have to be patient. Just find those guys underneath, just move the ball. This could be play like an 8, 10, 12 play drives that we're going to need to be able to execute versus just going for the deep ball against other defenses. So that's what I'm looking for. Just patience and got to be able to run the football.
So look,
Go
ahead.
Oh, real fast. Building on a piece of that, Iowa State's top 3 tacklers are all defensive backs. So even against inferior competition, it's not the linebackers coming up to make the play. They were able to push the box, and they're not worried about that deep ball hitting them over the top. We have to make them do the same thing with their defense. We have to draw them in and then slam it to Andrell, slam it to Nick Anderson, slam it to Jaden Gibson, name your receiver, and take advantage of it, move them around the field, get these guys moving in ways they don't want to go. That's all I got.
Mason, to Mark and Matt's point, Iowa State only has 4 sacks this entire year. So to Matt's point, you play those short amount of your down linemen, and you drop all those guys into coverage. You need some pressure up front. Iowa State doesn't generate it. They don't generate
7.
it. You're seeing 7. No, that's right. No, I was looking at the wrong number, dude. Another tough.
No worries.
Tough
You're
week.
doing great.
Still 7 in 4 games against, again, who I said, Iowa, who's anemic on offense, against Northern Iowa, who's an FCS team who you should overpower. And then you play Ohio. That's another team who's not going to be any good. That's a Maction team. Like, what are we doing? I think Dylan's going to pick them apart. I think if you drop 8, like Matt was talking about, into coverage, Dylan is decisive enough this year to just pick apart your zone and take those shots and take underneath stuff until you pull up, and then he hits you over the top to Nick Anderson or Jaleel Farouk or Andrell Anthony. I think that's what happens. I don't think they got a shot in hell at slowing this offense down. I truly don't.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in here because, Mason, I think I disagree with you a little bit, and I hope I'm wrong, but I think this defense is better than we think it is. I think they've been able to hold. I mean, you can disagree with me. That's fine. I mean, you say that they haven't played anybody. Has OU really played anybody yet either? Like, we're 4 weeks into this year,
Comparatively
right?
speaking, yes.
I mean, Oklahoma State is very bad. Ohio is not great. Iowa,
Right. Bad.
decent, I would
I-
say.
Iowa and Oklahoma State are the only teams on their schedule with a pulse. They allowed Oklahoma State to score 27 points with 3 different quarterbacks. That's insane.
They did.
It's insane.
And Iowa
did.
didn't even score a point against Penn State. I mean, Penn
Yeah.
State's legit.
That's-
but
that's-
Iowa-
Penn State's super legit.
But to go
No,
Ryan.
I see what you're saying.
Iowa. Is
I think it's I
Check out the
think
program
this
roundup.
is a like how do I say this? I'm kind of comparing this to Cincinnati's defense last week, and I'll explain it a bit more when I'm like explaining my my score prediction. But I think this is going to be a lower scoring game than people think it will be on both sides. I don't think we're only going to score 20 points. I think we will score more than 20 points. However, I do not think this is going to be a defense that we are just going to completely run over, especially if we have no running game, which has been the problem. If they completely eliminate our running game, it is going to be more difficult for us to score the ball. And I mean, that feels like a basic sentence when you say it out loud, but like we haven't seen the running game do anything. And we need the running game to actually step up this game. So like that's the thing I'm looking for is like Brent said, he put out a challenge, like who's going to take it? And I think it's got to be either Sawchuk or Barnes, but like we don't really know the status of them right now, right? But like I think this defense is a little better than what we're thinking they are. Like just like stats wise, they look good. And I know it's like based on poor competition, but I do think this defense is a little better and it's not going to be a complete blowout. That's my thoughts.
Matt, go ahead. Sorry, finish.
No.
I'm sorry.
I'm done.
Matt, gun to your head. Who's your featured running back right now? Who, if I had to tell you tomorrow, play your best running back, who is that?
I think so far it's been Tyree Walker, both
Okay.
getting up the field, falling over for yards, and also in the pass game. I mean, he's been the best back so far. In an ideal world, I want it to be Javonte Barnes based on what I saw last year, but either he's dinged up or he's just not 100% there from the injury that he sustained. But Tyree Walker is, I mean, the guy right now that's been playing the best, and that's what BB said before the season started, that Tyree was the guy, and he's shown it so far. It just hasn't been the running backs of old that OU's had.
Patrick, same question to you.
Give me Sawchuk. I just love his explosiveness. I think he's the most explosive running back on this offense. And if there's a hole, he's the one who's going to get it, hit it, and get 10 extra yards.
I'm with Matt with Javonte Barnes. Mark?
Sawchuk for the same reason. You just have to build some more explosion into this. And I think that what we've seen of Barnes is similar enough to what we see out of Marcus and Tyree Walker that you get that extra added element with him.
Ryan?
I want them both, like we saw in the Florida State game.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not choosing.
That's fine. Okay. Let us know down below in the comments if you had to pick one, not two, running back, who would your featured back be? Let us know down below in the comments. Guys, anything else on the offensive side of the football for Oklahoma that we haven't hit on yet? I'm interested to see if the offensive line, if we have any more shuffling or if we kind of are set in our ways here. Maybe Bill, he's like, all right, this is the week where the 5 are out there and it stays the same as we go into Texas. I kind of get that feeling. I don't know.
Well, Bird's coming back, so he's he's healthy again. So
yeah,
BB said he was coming back.
I'm glad he's healthy. I don't know if I need to see any more Savion Byrd personally, but that's just me. I don't.
Yeah,
I know what I have in him, and it doesn't make me feel things. So I don't know. Mark,
I'm just looking up the language that Venables used. Is he saying he will start or just that?
I don't know about that.
I'm seeing.
He just said he's healthy.
Back. I'm seeing ready.
yeah,
Didn't clarify what the injury was, so probably a concussion. That wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? And I'd actually disagree, Mason. I think the ceiling is with Savion Byrd in that spot. He is the more athletic player. He's the more physically built for it player. And if you can't get what you need out of him from the position, you know that Troy Everett is a safer, if a little unspectacular, stopgap, safeguard, not stopgap, because he's got years of eligibility left.
Yeah.
He'll be playing this role for us, and we called it in the program preview pods. He'll be playing this role for us for the next 2 or 3 years if he stays around in Norman. He'll be able to plug these holes at guard and center as we need him to. I'm hoping it's not a hole because I'm hoping Savion Byrd can play that guy.
Love that. Anything else on the offense before we move on? Cool. All right. So Oklahoma's defense against Iowa State's offense. So you defense playing very, very well right now. If you look at Mark had he retweeted something or shared something on Twitter about defensive efficiency and one of those charts where you want to see top right. You want to see your team in the top right. And I think OU was one of the furthest in the top right in terms of defensive efficiency. But to Ryan's point, haven't played a ton of quality competition up to this point. This should be a test. Yeah, Ryan.
I will say that I think the chart that Mark shared was opponent adjusted, I believe.
Opponent adjusted. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that.
So it means that, which is this OU defense is for real. I think through 4 games, it's for real. So
is for real. Iowa State comes into the game.
Wait.
Last,
I brought it up. Through week 4, top 10 improvements in defense scoring efficiency year to date through the 2 compared to the 22 regular season. That's number 1 Oklahoma. That shows on the field to me easily.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mason.
In terms of what you're getting out of Iowa State ranks dead last in the Big 12 in total offense. 308 yards per game is what they come to the table with. 83 yards rushing, 225 yards passing. Not the Iowa State offense of old that you saw with Brock Purdy and gang. This is not that same offense. And this goes to my point where I think they get blown out of the water, because even if, to your point, Ryan, even if Oklahoma isn't out there scoring a ton of points, Iowa State ain't going out there and scoring 20. Yeah. I don't think so. I think they're lucky to score twice.
Yeah, Mason, I completely agree with you here. I gave the Iowa State defense a little bit more credit than you did. I think this Iowa State offense is really bad. Truly, truly not good. And I would be surprised if they score more than one time. I'm surprised if this is not another Cincinnati situation. And that was even at Cincinnati. So where they just get field goals here and there. I do not think this Iowa State offense is very good at all. They scored 7 points on Miami, at home, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Lost 10-7.
Yeah, lost 10-7. And I just I think we are going to cover this game. I just think we won't score 50 points. But I truly believe this is going to be a beatdown on the defensive side like we've seen in the first 4 games.
Patrick, what are you looking?
Go ahead.
Ooh.
Patrick, your thoughts on the defense?
Sure, yeah. I just want to see more of the same from the defense. Obviously, they're playing great right now, and I want that to continue. I guess if I had to be picky, the cheetah position is still kind of a question mark to me. Haven't seen them play amazing in a game yet, but I'm sure that's still coming. But other than that, I would agree with Ryan. I don't see them scoring a lot of points. I don't see them scoring more than 1 touchdown this game.
Go ahead, Mark.
We're too good for them on defense for their offense. And this, of course, now that I've said that, this will be the team that goes for 28.
This is a freaking trap game, guys. It is still a trap game.
But here's the thing. Brent Venables doesn't have trap games. That dude approaches every week the exact same way.
He was 6-7 last year.
And so his play, none of that's trap game.
Yeah, those aren't trap games.
That's because he didn't know how to be a head coach yet, and the roster was roster.
They weren't trap games. We just straight up lost them.
Yeah, they're just loser games.
Sure, yeah.
That's 100%. Not the same thing. Anyway, if you wanted to bet, and I'm not condoning that, I'm just saying if you wanted to look at some lines.
Unless you're in Vegas.
Oklahoma to win and Iowa State under 13.5 points. That pays even odds.
Take it.
That pays straight up even odds. How many points do you think Oklahoma scores?
Well, We'll do
Talk about score predictions.
We'll talk about
You wanna
score.
do
Do you want us to
score
talk about it now?
I think Oklahoma scores over 40. I
don't
think they score
so.
over 40.
Line's 33.5. If you put all of
that's a good
those things
number.
together, pays out plus 229. I'll talk to y'all later.
Classic.
Exactly. Matt Gann, get in there.
Yeah, the Cyclones are 121st ranked offense in yards per game and only averaging 21 points, and that really came in that first game against Northern Iowa. So don't have too much. Again, like you mentioned, Mason, they're not having the Brock Purdy, the Breece Hall, the Charlie Kolar, the golden age of Iowa State that we've known and seen offensively years back. So not really worried too much about the defense, especially when giving up 4.4 yards per play. They've been absolutely tearing it up, getting pressure and really stopping the running game, which Iowa State does not have. So I just want to see continued pressure. And I do want to see, again, if JK7 does not play, what's another linebacker that's going to step up and play right next to Danny Stutzman, who, again, has just been all over the field at all times, just been the absolute dude. And get some good rotation, maybe get Payne Bowen in there and some other young guys, Makari Vickers, to continue to give those guys playing time, especially with the upcoming Big 12 games. So, yeah, I don't see Iowa State scoring too many points. This is more about the offensive executing. I think Iowa State won't score more than 10 points against this defense, especially in Norman. And Patrick's favorite thing, the light show.
My favorite thing.
Game.
Come
the
on.
light show might be going off quite a bit during the game. Maybe quite a few fireworks.
Yeah.
That's an 11 a.m. kick, right?
No, 6 p.m.
6 o'clock.
7 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Central.
Okay.
Still time to fly to Norman, Pat.
Yeah, still
I got
time, brother.
I got time.
You still got time. I really want to see the defensive line get pressure organically this week. I want to not have to send our linebackers on rushes and instead just generate pressure from the defensive line, because I think they can overpower this Iowa State offensive line and overwhelm them physically and get in the backfield in a hurry. That'd be a lot of fun. I'd love to see the defensive line show up this week. And they've had good games. I'll give them credit, but to see them go out there and have like a 3 or 4 sack game just themselves, that'd be a lot of fun. I'd love to see the defensive line do that.
I want to see more PJ. That got mentioned by
everybody does.
it got mentioned by BV today, or not today, when in his press conference. It was essentially like, oh yeah, we need to play him more. So like, I want to see more of him. I think every time he's on the field, I'm just like, what is he going to do next? He's like easily the most athletic person out there. And he's like a freshman. It's like him and Peyton Bowen
exactly
just like going off of each other. I
feel like both of those guys, you're just like, you want to see them on the field because you just want to see what happens when they're on the field. I agree.
That's what I'm looking forward to most with the defense. And then like with how bad this offense is on Iowa State, I just don't think they're good at all, and the statistics show that. I'm interested to see if we play more of Connie Walker and Vickers in the secondary, because last week against Cincinnati they kind of switched them out a couple times, and so I'm interested to see if they like maybe give the younger guys a little bit more time.
I think you'll see a lot of young guys. Mark?
I love the idea of, by the end of our season, the starting ends being PJ and Rondell Bothroyd, because we saw last week the kind of disruption you can get out of Rondell Bothroyd. He had a handful of plays, handful of pressures that looked very good. He's so strong. He's large and he's powerful. On the other side, man, oh man, if they feel like they can get PJ's reps up to that point throughout the year, he is going to be such a problem for offensive linemen to deal with. And he's only, 18, 19 years old. He is so good. And one bonus, we've talked about it. I don't know if they would do it right now. I'd love to see Ethan Downs move inside in some of these packages and shore up some of that interior rush as well, if you know that you're going to have PJ Ford in.
Yep.
Like Ethan got up to 270 pounds this year. He could do that on third down. He could easily do that on third down.
Yep.
Something to think about, I think, for coaches Venables, Bates, and Chavis listening right now.
For sure. Anybody else, anything on the defense before we move on to some score predictions? Cool. Let's do it. Drop your score predictions down below with us as you're watching. Let us know what you're looking for out of the defense as well. Matt Gann, I want to start with you as you take a sip of your drink. What's your score prediction, man?
Yeah, I think based on the run game, I think we're going to struggle a little bit. So I'm going to go 28-10. OU at
28-10. 28-10 says
I think it'll be low scoring. Yep.
Okay, Ryan, what about you?
35-9.
35-9 says Ryan. Patrick, what do you got?
I think the offense needs to make a statement here, so I'm going to go 41-13.
41-13 says Patrick. Mark, what do you got?
48-3.
48-3 says
Whoa,
Mark.
hello.
Hello.
I'm pretty close.
Ain't-
52-10.
Ain't no trap games.
Jesus.
Ain't no trap games here.
Yeah, 52-10. This team's different. This team's mentality is different. They're going to step on these fools' freaking throat in front of 90,000 people at Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium on Saturday. It's a night game. Everybody's eyes are on them. They're making a statement to the nation that this is not a fluke. They're a real team. We'll see you in Dallas next week. That's what's going to happen. 52-10, Oklahoma Sooners.
I'm
Let us know
sorry.
below in the comments.
Is Mike McDaniels the offensive coordinator for this game or what?
No, they score 70.
Yeah, they score
Okay.
70.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys heard it or not, but the Miami Dolphins scored 70 points on Sunday. But no, look, Jeff Levy has the capability of doing it. We know he can. We know he can score. I feel like this whole quiet quitting thing is going to stop eventually, and he'll eventually figure out what the hell is going on. And once they figure out who they're going to run the ball to or give the ball to in the run game and consistently, maybe that opens up an entire new way the offense works. So you aren't shifting guys around all the time in the backfield. So you're having to call different plays because you have a different package. Maybe now, if you have one guy in the backfield, you know what package you're going to have and how you can call a play around that guy. I don't know. I'm just talking out loud. That's what a podcast is for, right? I guess.
Absolutely.
Tell us all your thoughts, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're here for.
All right. Kickoff at 6 p.m. in Norman, Oklahoma. Game is on
Be there.
ESPN. ESPN?
No, FS1?
FS1?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're
It's-
probably right.
It's something. It's one
It
of
does.
those.
It sounds right.
I don't think
also,
we would get a night ESPN game against Iowa State. That's my only thought.
Mark, you're going to the game, correct?
Yes.
Matt Gann, you going to the game? Matt Gann's not going. I'm going with my lovely wife and program guy Connor Borland. So and his lovely wife. So that'll be a great time.
Oh.
And we'll have a post game for you after the game on Sunday. We'll drop that for you on Sunday morning for the people. So be on the lookout for that, and also check in with the program roundup. Okay. Some recruiting news, gentlemen. We'll move on to some recruiting. Eddie Pierre Lewis. He's a 2024 offensive guard, 4-star, 6'4". Louis. I took French for 4 years. You would think I would do that better. He's 6'4", 320 out of Tampa Catholic High School. He's a 3-star on 3 and 247, by the way. That's a crystal ball, if I'm not mistaken. Is that a crystal ball?
Yeah.
Yeah. So crystal ball from Eddie Pierre Louis. Be fun.
Hold on, real fast. Can we just, respectfully, love these guys. If it's a back-to-back crystal ball by Parker and Brandon, that's one crystal ball to me.
Yeah.
I would agree.
It's just one crystal ball to me. It's good. I like it. But who are the guys that those dudes have differed on? Do we like, sure, there are probably one where one said yes, one said nothing, but it'd be more exciting if like Brandon came out right after and said, no, it's UCF. No way. And that's just, it's one crystal ball to me. So
Look,
That's all I
great
got.
size on this guy. 6'4", 320 pounds. A lot to be excited for.
Yeah, size on the offensive line is never going to shake my head at a kid who's already over 315 pounds in high school. Never going to shake my head at that. 6'4" as well.
And he's someone we've been in on from the beginning. And he
Mhm.
just, had kind of strung us along, but maybe.
Yep. Okay. I'm looking. Keon Brown, he's a former Oklahoma wide receiver commit. He's committed to Florida A&M now. So shout out Keon Brown. Hope it works out for him, man. Really hope it does.
too.
Down in
Want
down
that
in
guy to
Florida.
get it together.
Yeah, 100%. So Terry Bussey on Saturday, or no, he's committing.
Thursday.
He's committing on Thursday.
Today.
Yeah,
Today.
he's committing today. As
Today,
you're
if you're
listening to
listening.
this, if you're listening today, if you're listening when it drops, and you should, right?
Yeah.
Always be
Why
in touch.
wouldn't you?
Turn those alerts on, by the way. Terry Bussey committing today. How we feeling? We'll start with our recruiting expert, Mark Hall.
I'm feeling not too great. Honestly, I love the idea of Terry Bussey coming here and making some plays and being a part of the team, but I think that Texas A&M is probably too far in the lead, even for the recruiting prowess of Emma Jones, Jeff Levy, Brent Venables. I think that's just where we stand right now.
Matt?
That's what I've been seeing. A&M has got the lead, so I'd be pretty surprised if you picked anything else.
God, man, I just want to fathom how much money these people are throwing at these kids for them to still want to stick around a lost at sea program like Texas A&M. I just want to know like the hard numbers. And I'm
It's
not
like
about it. I'm not upset. Like the kids go get your money. That's fine. But like A&M's got nothing going on. They got nothing going on, man. I just don't get it.
Same shit every year with that program.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's got to be just like life-changing money for
Yeah.
those kids and their families, and
For sure.
that's their choice, and there's nothing wrong with that choice.
No, not at all. I just want to know the number. Just to know, just to hear it out loud and to be like, yeah, I'd go to Texas A&M for that too. I'd do that.
Well, I think
yeah.
what we should.
Let's go. Go. I was just gonna.
Well, I was just
talk
going to
revenge.
say we have a donator to another program. He donates to the Vaults, and there's a guy that was supposed to visit OU this weekend who's now visiting Tennessee. That's 5-star offensive tackle Jordan Seaton, who also plays at IMG with David Stone and Jaden Jackson, who are big in his recruitment. So this is not a great look that he's canceling his official visit. So I want to know, Patrick, how much have you been donating to the Tennessee Fund to get a 5-star offensive tackle? How much is that costing you?
I haven't donated anything, but I will say that their NIL collective is one of the best in the country, and we need to catch up.
All great
Vol
points.
Navy. Vol Navy, man.
Vol Navy. All right.
Patrick's part of the Vol Navy. Just giving his money to the wrong program. It's messed up, bro. It's messed up. Anything else on Terry Bussey or the rest of the recruiting news that we covered today? Before I move on, gentlemen.
He's gonna be good even if he ends up at A&M, which sucks.
Yeah, I know.
But he's gonna end up at A&M.
Yeah, he is. He'll end up at A&M, but that's what we got to deal with. Okay, Matt Gann, he's back. You missed him, but it's Circle the WaGanns. I'm dying to know what's been going on, man. I haven't known anything that's been going on in the OU world because you've been gone.
There's been a lot going on. And let me catch you guys up. Let me start with volleyball. Not looking so great since I have not talked about them. Losers of 3 straight.
Oof.
The UCLA and Texas twice. They're overall 6-5. They will play the Big 12 newcomers in Central Florida in back-to-back matches this Friday, or technically today if you're listening, and this weekend. So hopefully they can get back on track after having a pretty good start to the year. Patrick's girls soccer program overall 6-4-1. We love that you can tie and not come out with a victory, but a tie is a tie at the end of the day. They tied Kansas 2-2, lost to Omaha 2-1, beat Kansas State 2-0, and had a great comeback against the great city of Houston They were down 2-0
Great.
heading
I don't know
into
about that.
the 74th minute, got a corner header to go down 2-1. And then they were losing 1-0, scored one to tie, and then scored about 8 minutes later in the 82nd minute off a long pass deep down the field that was one touched down into the right corner, beating Houston in the late part of the game, getting a good sealed victory 2-1. So again, they are overall 6-4-1 on the season. They will continue their 2-game winning streak against probably their 2 in a row toughest opponents. They're going to have to go at Lubbock, who's currently number 14 in the nation, and then they'll come back to John Crane Field in Norman to play number 19 UCF. So I think this will tell a lot about how good this girls program really is by playing 2 top 20 teams 2 games in a row. So obviously good luck to the Sooners coming up. Really the last program that I haven't touched too much on is OU's men's golf. They competed at the Valero Texas Open back earlier in September in San Antonio, placed 5th overall at even score. And then just last weekend competed at the Husky Invitational in Washington. They finished 2nd overall at 14 under. They will play at Ben Hogan Invitational this weekend in Fort Worth. Need to know if the boys have some boots on the ground for some OU's men's golf.
Bro, you
there.
live in Fort Worth now. Like, it's
This
you.
weekend?
I never said I wasn't
This
going.
weekend? I'm going to Norman. You and Ryan should definitely do that though. Get
I'll
some
be
boots
in
on the
North
ground, maybe get
Carolina.
an interview or something. Oh my
So.
god.
The great
Setting
thing
up a
is-
trip to North Carolina just to not go watch golf with Gann is messed up.
Yeah,
messed
that's
up,
why
dude.
I did
That's
it.
not
That's why
bro.
I did it.
Gann
I really
wouldn't do
couldn't
that
think
to
of a
you.
better time than spending it with me watching collegiate golf. I mean, what more do you want? I mean, come on.
Not any more than that.
That's right. So obviously good luck to the OU's men's teams and all the other teams. OU's men's and women's basketball recently came out the Big 12 schedule. So they're 1 and done against UCF, Houston, BYU, and Cincinnati. So that's an interesting schedule that came out just today, but they'll be starting up here in the next few weeks with some preseason games. So we'll have some more teams to talk about as we get a little bit further into fall, but that is the Circle the WaGanns extended update. Since I
Love
took
it.
my hiatus, I'm back.
Love it. I miss Pat's hot take. I miss that.
I might
segment.
come back.
It's been a
I
while.
can have it come back.
Yeah, I mean, we can have you come back. What I do want to start is our PGP MVP segment of the week. Patrick,
Whoa.
you go ahead. Actually, no, wait. Before I do that, I'm sorry, Patrick. We will start with you,
worries.
though. I want to give an update on our Pick'em page brought to you
Oh,
by
great call.
Hype Shoe Company. Shout out to Hype Shoe Company. Pat, tell the people about the Hype Shoe Company real quick.
Yeah, go to hypeshoes.com right now to buy your collegiate or custom made slippers. They are very, very cool. If you want your picture of your dog on these slippers, you can do that. They're awesome. Go to Hype Shoes right now and customize your slides or buy your collegiate slides as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm trying to find the standings. There it is.
All right,
Hold,
while
please.
we're waiting for Mason to get it pulled up, I want to give a quick shout out to everyone who bought a Program Guys t-shirt. We got the numbers back. They're fantastic. They exceeded everything we could have hoped for, and I am very happy to have all of y'all in the program. Thank you
Yeah.
once again from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Okay, here's where we stand in our pick and picks. Joey Dean, 42. He's in first place with 270 points. Sooners Victory Tour in second with 260 points. Florida with 6 exclamation points is in third with 250. And we have 2 more tied with 250. FL Legend 707 and Humble One parentheses spread with 250. So that's where we stand right now, boys. Let me tell you, I had a great week last week. I'm ranked 21st currently. Shout out producer Trevor. Trevor's in 13th. There you go. Good job, Trevor.
Wow.
Trevor.
So, yeah, that's
Trevor.
where we stand on our pick and page. Remember, top 3 entries get a pair of Hype shoes from the company. Top 3. Remember to keep making your picks week in and week out the entirety of the college football season. Patrick, give us your MVP of the week, my brother.
My MVP of the week is Drake Stoops for officially hitting 100 career catches. Not only that, he is now a semifinalist for the William V. Campbell Trophy, which is the player with the best combination of academics, community service, and on-field performance. It's basically the Heisman for academics. Fun fact about that, 2 years ago, Charlie Kohler won that. Charlie Kohler also went to Norman North like Drake Stoops. So it could be 2 of the last 3 years where someone from Norman North won that award, which is quite interesting.
Hey, home of the T-Wolves, baby, best high school in probably all the country based on that fact alone. So thank you, Patrick.
Heck yeah. Matt Gann, give me your MVP, man.
I'm going to stay just a little bit north of Norman. I'm going to go Oklahoma City Council voting 8-1 in favor of building a new arena for Oklahoma City Thunder basketball organization. They've now been there for a little over 16 years. That stadium is dog poop. So this is a huge step. This will keep the Thunder there beyond 2050 and approve of a $900 million brand new arena. This is well-deserved for a team and a fan base that absolutely loves the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're only on the up and up with this team core and coaching staff. So really happy to see that this got approved for Oklahoma City. Only going to make the city that much better as well. Oklahoma City Council.
I would like to say that the people still have to vote on it.
The people will always vote.
So I don't know. If the people don't pass it.
I think they'll approve it.
Oh God, I hope they do.
Yeah, Ryan, who's your MVP?
Okay, I don't like this. But I feel like I have to do it.
Do it.
I think the clear MVP of this week is Travis Kelce. And because he not only so he's
you guys
now
have a good night.
Seemingly dating the most famous person in the entire world, Taylor Swift, and got her to come to the Chiefs game this past weekend, and his merch sales went up by 400%. He got 300,000 new followers, like on Instagram or something like that. I just looked up on YouTube and they released their pod 11 hours ago, him and Jason's pod, and it already has 1.2 million views in 11 hours. And like the PR move and the business move that this is, I mean, I hope they're like happy and all that stuff. Who knows? The PR and the business move here is obscene. Like absolutely obscene. It took over the football world. It took over the social media world this weekend. And I got to give it out to the dude. You know, he shot his shot and look what's happening. So good for him. So he's MVP.
The Dolphins scored 70 points and they were the second biggest story in the football world on Sunday. That's freaking crazy, dude. Also, there was TMZ pictures. Did you see the TMZ pictures that came out today? She's hanging all over him at the bar, bro.
She clawed him.
Bro,
she's clawed him.
Travis
was it?
20 bar after the game.
24.5 million people watched that Chiefs game.
It's insane.
And like one of the highest groups of people who watched that Chiefs game were women from like 19 to like 45 or whatever.
Shocking.
Unbelievable. Like it's absolutely insane. So yeah, that was just a crazy thing that happened. And you got to give it to the dude Travis.
Shout out to him, man. Patrick,
we got to title this pod Taylor Swift.
Maybe we'll get
algorithm
400%
algorithm.
I think Mark made that joke earlier today, didn't you, on Twitter?
I'm close to it.
Look, I've been talking about how I don't like Travis Kelce for quite a long time now. And I think this is actually the best thing that could have happened for people who don't like Travis Kelce. Because when this inevitably crashes down, there's no one you want that you don't want. And Taylor Swift's army coming for you. You gain 300,000 followers, you're going to lose more than that, buddy. And it's going to happen quick because you're an aggressive guy. And if a little heat hits you, you punch your teammates for no reason.
Oh my God.
And the Swifties,
you tell them, Pat.
are starting to dig into that.
The Swifties are crazy though. So like beware.
You just know, like, if it doesn't work out, and sure, they're in love, I'm sure. But if it doesn't work out, the next album's going to be like The Fumble.
There's literally
Out of Bounds.
Yeah.
It's going to be called out
called
the whole
Fumble.
album.
Yeah. It's
Oh my God.
No, it's going to be called
you do all the
like Kingdom for Chiefs Kingdom, something simple.
in like all of the songs in order will spell out Travis Kelce if you do like the first letter going down.
Oh my god.
Or like Donna loved me. Something
Have
like
you seen
that. Something
one of my-
real deep.
One of my favorite things, though, has been all the tweets from like the NFL people who are like, now that the Swifties are involved in NFL, they're going to come up with some crazy statistic that's better than like EPA. It's like they're going to do it in like 3 days because they're all crazy.
Dude, they're wild,
I saw one that was really good. It was like, okay, Swiftie fans, or okay, Kelce fans, now that you're here, you really need to know these things about Taylor Swift. Here's what Taylor likes to do. Here's her first song. Here's her biggest album. Like, just flipping it.
That's
Dude,
funny.
My sister is like one of the biggest Taylor Swift fans in the entire world. And she's been to like a bunch of her concerts, on this previous tour. She's been to 2 different shows, like obsessed with her. And me and my brother were talking to her about this, like, because she likes Taylor Swift, right? So me and my brother were like, oh yeah, did you see that? And she's like, I don't know, I don't really care like who she's dating or whatever. And me and my brother both go, okay, Jensen, I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you don't care. Like, of course she does.
She'll be in a Chiefs jersey by Christmas.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
100%. Dude, the pullover that Taylor Swift wore to the Chiefs game sold out in like an hour.
No, it wasn't even released, is what I heard. I heard it was like new merch that like has not been released. Oh, but the
New
pre-order
Balances sold out though.
Yeah.
The New Balance is sold out.
Unbelievable.
Freaking crazy. Jesus. I mean, it's nuts. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift trying to hit the algorithm. Okay. Mark, who's your MVP, man?
All right, I got 2 MVPs. They're both IMG guys. It's our boy, the OG Sooner, David Stone, and his current teammate, Jaden Jackson. They were going to accompany Jackson, going to accompany the aforementioned 5-star offensive tackle, Jordan Seaton, on his trip to Oklahoma this weekend. But Jordan changed his mind. I think Patrick hit him in the DMs and let him know how cool their NIL is, because it's all Patrick can talk about. And our guys are still coming through. You know that Brent and the squad are going to have more visitors in town than just Jordan Seaton. And those IMG guys can sell the picture as well as anyone can. Jaden Action Jackson wasn't going to be a Sooner until the NIL game came around. And David Stone can sell it for all the reasons he's able to sell it. It's a great thing. Those guys are still going up there, even though their teammate is not. The IMG boys, Boomer Senior, my MVPs. Mason, MVP us.
All right, my MVP is Liverpool midfielder Dominic Szoboszlai. Dominic Szoboszlai comes in from Hungary. He's a new signee for Liverpool this transfer window. He scored I'm learning this, Patrick, a banger today. A banger today from outside the box. Just
that's so
absolute
English.
Scorcher in the Carabao Cup against Leicester City. Dominic Szoboszlai has been really good in the first few Premier League games as well, has Liverpool near the top of the table. Just goes to show Jurgen Klopp missing out on some Chelsea guys, some guys to Chelsea because he couldn't pay him enough money and he wasn't crooked enough. So instead, they're over in Chelsea sucking absolute donkey. And now the guys that replaced
they do suck, but they won today. So they actually won a game.
Yeah, there you go. The Carabao Cup. Gotta love it. Chelsea holding some trophies again. But yeah, that's my MVP of the week. Dominic Szoboszlai, Hungarian national. Bang. Folks, episode 90 is in the books. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. The game kicks off at 6 p.m. on Saturday in Norman. We'll have a post-game pod for you on Sunday for the people. Be sure to also tune in for the program roundup on Sunday or Monday as well. Can't remember which day we're going to release that, but we'll have that for you as well, recapping the entire weekend in college football. Thank you to our friends at the Fan Stop for sponsoring that as well. Thank you to the Hype Shoe Company as well for sponsoring our college football pick'em page. You can follow us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z. Be sure to like and subscribe on all of our audio formats on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of that good stuff. And that's going to do it. We'll see you this weekend. If you see us out at the game, say what up. Pat, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.
There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being